everybody? What is good? And welcome to the Damn Dude Podcast.
Damn, dude.
I am your host, California Cal, and we're here to have the conversations that need to be had in a way that'll make you think and say, damn, dude.
Damn, dude.
And realistically, we're just here to put some of the realest shit on the internet to, just so it can really be in existence for good. You know what I'm saying? So today we got a dope episode. We're going to be talking about this one specifically for dads. Like if you're a dad, stepdad, any sort of dad, this shit's for you, dude. I think that you'll hella feel this shit. So it's a trip, dude. I'm gonna also be talking about that and showing your kids how to be a good man, even if the fucking shit with between you and the mom didn't work out or whatever. So oh man. So like I said, I'm not good with intros, so we just fucking jump right into this shit.
Damn, dude.
Again, I'm your host, California Cal, born and raised in San Diego, and I'm fucking here just to, help really extract the wisdom that a bunch of dope-ass people share, and I'm here to, help really bring it to the forefront and let that be the common ground for us to all talk about. I'm here to help make the space of vulnerability and just authenticity and realness be what's cool. The whole, trying to be cool, this and that, all this shit, that's not actually cool, you know what I'm saying? Some real ass shit is what's cool. It doesn't matter what your financial situation, what type of shoes you wear, what color your skin is, none of that shit. When you listen to this podcast, this is a safe place for everybody and everyone. I come from a very diverse background and that lives in this podcast, so, and in this show, whatever you want to call it. So you know what I'm saying? So just listening to this show is being a participant of diversity. You know what I mean? If that even makes sense, because it's just like that. So without further ado, let's fucking just get into this shit, man. It's a trip, dude. I'm getting ready to start fucking working again. And what is with my fucking thing here? It's tripping. Sorry. I realize I'm recording. I shouldn't be having side conversations with myself. Now my camera keeps turning off for some reason on my phone. And by the way, we do go live every time we record. Well, not every time, but majority of the time, and when we can, we'll go live for you guys. So for me, I'm gearing up to start working again. My normal, I don't even want to call it, I'm making this sound really lame. Like my normal thing I do for income, I should say, which is teaching babies to swim. I'm able to teach babies to swim faster than any other human being on the planet that I've ever seen do it or has ever done it before. And, most people in my kind of work circle refer to me as the baby whisperer. I'm just really with the shits when it comes to teaching kids, understanding babies and understanding people and their fears and why they're afraid of the things they're afraid of. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a cool blessing to remember that it's a huge blessing to me that I still remember what it was like to be scared to swim. I remember not knowing how, and I remember what my body felt like, and I remember certain kicks would feel it wouldn't work, and I could never understand why, you know what I mean? Why I wasn't, why I couldn't swim and why I was so scary. I remember that. So I help and show babies I teach them how to have life-saving skills in the water by rolling over to float, hang there, and all with proper breath control. The whole thing and the whole secret is within training the breath control. And that's why there's a lot of swim schools and swim instructors who aren't very good, or not that they're not very good, but that they're ineffective with their lessons, is because they're not working from the breath forwards. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to swimming, it's really when it comes to teaching people, especially when they have no verbal communication with you, breathing is a universal language. And I think if you fail to understand that as a teacher teaching young kids, then you're gonna kind of skip over the whole point. You're gonna skip over, not the point, but the gold. That's where the gold is in the breathing techniques. And if you don't understand how that relates, then it's you know what I mean? I guess talk to me or something. And by the way, I plan on putting out a bunch of information on how to teach your babies to swim, because I realize it's a huge secret and I need to be the one to like break that chain and let it be common information. And so I can document myself as being the first one to do it how I do it, because there's mad people trying to that try and copy what I do. So I realize I'm like, dude, here's just all the secrets, because the more kids that we can, the more teachers we can impact, the more safer all the kids are, So, damn,
dude.
I just really got that for myself, actually. Like, excuse me. Like the more teachers I can help, then the more kids get to be safe, And then at the same time, the other part of what I do is I help adults overcome their lifelong fears in the water. And that's crazy too, because I'm able, like, for one, I said I'm able to remember what it's like to be scared. And then on the other part of it is like, I remember, like, for one, I remember what it's like to be scared. And the other part of it is I understand that breathing is a universal language amongst everybody and everything. And the way that you're breathing really presents who you are and what you're about, like if you show up in front of a dog with like that type of energy, that type of breathing, that communicates something and the dog's going to respond to that. And for me, that's one of my biggest fears is like when I encounter a dog that's like unpredictable, like I'm not like, oh my God, dogs, like I'll go, you know what I mean? I got a dog, but like I just, I don't understand dogs very well. Like I don't understand their mannerisms or their energy or their like what their intentions are. I'm looking at it like, yo, you're a wild animal, like at the core of you, like the core of you is a fucking legitimate wild animal. And to me, it's just like we're not really supposed to be like interacting this way. Like we are, but we aren't. But it's kind of weird. It's like no matter how you look at it, like your dog, whether your dog has the best life or not, your dog, I mean, maybe, well, I guess it depends on the breed, honestly, if we're really going to get technical, but they're all like, that's a wild animal. It was a wild animal at some point, and we've like domesticated it, and that's a trip, dude. So because of that, it trips me out, and I'm like, are they angry underneath it? You know what I mean? Like, do they feel like they have been slaves or enslaved, or like, do they feel like we rescued them, or do they feel like we've fucked up their life? You know what I mean? Like I start thinking of all that, and then that leads me to get nervous, and then not to mention all the trauma and shit I've had with dogs, getting attacked, getting chased to school, all these things ever since I was a little kid and to growing up. So it's a trip, dude. Like so just getting ready to start working again has got me thinking like, oh man, I'm definitely ready to start working again, because dude, yeah. It's interesting because during this whole last year with the Baronas and all that shit, these viruses and all this shit, I was like, dude, I could have got a job, but what I did was I got unemployment because I actually needed it, because they just cut, like, all my work just got cut, and like there was like a good 2 months where I didn't have any money coming in, and it was just, I was just living off of what I had, and then we were just scraping by, dude, and like I was still with my ex at the time, and it's like we're supporting the family, and it's like, dude, how the fuck, man? And it was interesting because when I signed up for unemployment, like, it's rare that you get unemployment as an entrepreneur, but because of this pandemic thing, like, it legit helped me out. And I was like, cool, man. Like, I fucking need this right now. There was a moment where I legit needed some help, and it fucking helped. And it's helped a lot, actually. So it's interesting because there was a couple things that I could have done with that unemployment money. And I realize it's important that I document this, because this is like a big piece of my life, and if I don't speak this outwards, then it kind of just gets tucked under the rug and like not acknowledged. And when that happens, it's almost like that's how we live in the past. I feel like is like for example, I think I've explained this before, but like I have had all my traumas and all the crazy shit that I've ever had, let's say like 20 years old and younger. like all the way up to from being a little kid all the way up to 20 years old. Like I had a crazy ass life, and I back at it, and oftentimes those events are the defining events and moments in my life. But then what I realized one day was like, well, hold on, holy shit, like everything that's happening currently and has happened in the past year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, in, recent times, 10 years, because how old am I now? I'm like 35. So if I go back to 20, that's like, oh, here goes math again. So it'd be 20, 30, 15. Yeah, I think 15 years. Basically because people stopped getting murdered and life chilled out because I hit such a rock bottom in life. Not even rock bottom, I don't want to call it that, but like I hit the lowest point of my life where, I mean, I guess, yeah, you would call it that. Where I hit that bottom, and that was when I broke my skull, neck, and back in 8 spots on my quad out in the desert. I fucking, I got, my ex got pregnant by another dude. I fucking got fired from my job. I got dropped out of firefighter school, and my 2 best friends had just gotten murdered like that year and the previous year. So it was just like gnarly. Like life was gnarly as fuck, and that was kind of like where I bookmarked all the pain. I was kind of like, okay, it kind of stopped and chilled out there for a little. So, but then not realizing it, like, damn, I've been through multiple different relationships since then. I've been through different jobs. I've had different breakdowns. I've lost other people. I've had all these other crazy things happen. And it's just kind of like, I for some reason, I don't relate to it like the older shit from when I was younger. But the thing is, it's just as important and just as relevant because we're just adults now, and it's like actually our adult brain is far more confused than our child brain. So if that's the case, then like we're not even interpreting it or facing it. It's like, what the fuck? Like that's a trip, dude. Yeah, man. So, okay. So getting back to my point, so with this whole unemployment thing, so I got unemployment and it was like, cool, it fucking helped out. I signed up, and I was chilling and I was just kind of like on survival mode because my youngest son, he was still really young. I mean, he still is young. He's only 2, but like, I mean, he's 1, like less, he's like under a year old or at this point. And like my son was born in 2019, January 2019, 2020. Wait, is that right? Yeah, I think so. I'm tripping, dude. I'm so bad with math numbers. What was I saying? Anyway, so my son was really young, my youngest son. And then my older son, he's a teenager, and he's fucking eating everything. He's hungry as fuck. Like, he's just constantly growing, and it's like, that's just how it goes, Like, fuck, everybody, well, not everybody, but we go through that when we're teenagers, and like, it happens. It is what it is. So what I did was I used that money, and I was like, yo, how am I gonna fucking put this into something good? I'm like, I can either go get a job right now, or I can use this unemployment money and fucking like work some sort of magic with it. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And it was within that actually the podcast got birthed. And like, when you guys see all this equipment that I got, I did not own a computer prior to this. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have a computer. I didn't have this fucking soundboard thing. I didn't have no microphones. I didn't have headphones. I didn't have anything. I didn't even know USB plugs change. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? So I was like, yo, to me, this is money to help me and to get by, but this isn't survival money. Like, this shit is not survival money. Yeah, like I got shut down at my work, whatever, that's cool. And I'll always adapt and pivot. It's never over. So I'm like, all right, dude, I'm getting this money. What the fuck are we gonna do with it? So I'm like, invest. How do I invest? What do I invest in? And I was like, yo, like, to me, number one, you always invest in yourself. And then sometimes when it's just like you don't know how to invest in yourself, I believe you got to invest it into other people who are doing good. So what I did when I didn't know what to do yet, I fucking put all that money into my friends' companies and shit. Not like some investor type of shit, but like, and honestly, I didn't spend much money. And at the same time, I did put my money and my energy there. So I was buying clothes in the midst of like survival mode and shit, but from my friends' companies, because some of them started brand new companies. And I'm like, I'm trying to see you win and grow. And if I can get this money and I can allot this much to feeding my kids and my family, and I can allot this much here to the bills and whatever, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like, something in me is like, just put this back into the homies. Like, do this, you know? And like, so that's what I did is I bought sweaters for my homies. I bought logos. And there was shit that like homies charged me for. I'm sorry, that there was shit homies didn't charge me for that they charge other people for, and I still paid them for it. You know, shout out, you know who you are if you hear this, fucking with my logos and the whole thing, you know. I appreciate that. And on the other hand, I know you appreciate what I did too. So it goes both ways. So that's what I was looking for, is like, that's what I want to create, is this like this funnel of good energy. And it's not on some IOU type shit or I did you a favor. Nah, none of that. Cause I actually like the shit that my homies are putting out. So I'm like, all right, like what else can I do? You know, like how else can I put this? Like where else can I go with this money? What else can I do with it? You know? So I was like, this ties in. If you go back to, I forget which episode it was, but it was the one about pyramid schemes. It was within the first 10 episodes, but the pyramid scheme episode, it makes so much sense. It ties back into exactly this, which is I got suckered into these fucking pyramid scheme events and all this other shit, and then I got suckered into the same one twice, and I was pissed, and I was gonna leave, but I had left. I was in this position where I was taking a piss in the middle of the place. I mean, okay, that sounded kind of funny. I was in the bathroom, peeing in the toilet. So, but it happened to be positioned in the middle of the entire house. So like there's the entrance on the right, there's the bathroom in the middle, and then there's the presentation and all the shit on the left. And I'm going pee and I see the main, I don't know if he's a scammer, but I related to him as a scammer. He comes out of the bathroom and I'm like, where have I seen this guy? And as I'm peeing, I'm like, oh no, it's the main dude from that other shit I went to that I got suckered into and tricked into. So I'm like, all right, you know what? Cool. So the reason I didn't just bail, there's a couple of reasons. I had respect for the dude who invited me, and it did fall on me. And it was practice from my whole thing of like, all right, you got to be more interested than interesting. So that was a big lesson to me. And like, bro, you're not even actually being more interested than interesting, because you allowed this guy to ask you all the questions, so much so where you didn't ask enough questions about dude to discover what he actually does. And he did, I mean, I did a little, but he was kind of he would like use these really slick ways to like avert from the question, or, you know, from like answering it directly. Excuse me. So all of that, I say that to say this, all of that led to getting a mentor. So what I did was I hired a mentor. And of course I have my mentors, which are my books, my people I listen to online, certain friends, family members, you know, people that like I really want their advice and their opinions in my ear. So I open myself up to that, you know. But this was different. I was like, all right, a real mentor, coach, however you want to call it. I preferred coach. So I got a mentor. Shout out Jim Riley. And he was really helpful. Like it was crazy. Because I signed up and I got mentored through David Meltzer's mentorship program or academy. I don't know how you call it. And it was dope. He's the real deal. Those people are absolutely good people, man. I saw there was a time where I don't know. There was like this whole incident where it's like it was on me where I fucked it up and I wasn't utilizing my calls and my text messages and the person's time. Like I really wasn't. Damn, this camera's messing up. Like I really wasn't utilizing his time, and it was on me that I fucked that up. And at the end of the whole thing, he was still like, I was like, bro, like we didn't communicate. Like I know that was on me. I fucked it up, but bro, like I was just like, it is what it is. Like, and on his own, he was like, dude, I know you got a family and I know you're struggling. Like, here you go. And he let a whole months of session go and he just fucking gave it back to me. He fucking sent me the money back. And I was just like, bro, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even have to do that, because I did use some of his time and this and that. And like, anyway, back to like my whole thing was like, oh, what up? Sorry, I'm not really paying attention on my live thing here, and I can't really read who's on here. So what up to everybody popping up? What's good, you guys? Yeah, we're recording episode 23 live here, so you get to see it about like several days in advance and on video before it's actually even anywhere. So where I was going. So with that unemployment money, boom, invested into the homies' companies. Well, not invested, but purchased stuff from the homies companies. That's an investment. Signed up and I got a paid mentorship, and that shit was tight, dude. I was like doing crazy shit that I would have never been able to like come up with or think about on my own. And it fucking got me by, dude. It made no sense because I was in the part of my season where I don't make any fucking money, and then at the same time, I'm spending fucking like $300 a month on a fucking coach, mentor, guide, however you want to call it. And dude, it was crazy because it was like, that was an investment in myself and my family. It seemed absolutely crazy to almost be like spending money I didn't have. But what was happening was I was like, dude, I just believe, like my gut tells me, if my gut tells me something, I follow that 100%. Like I don't fuck with my brain when it comes to like major life decisions. I completely like roll with what my gut has to tell me. So it told me, dude, invest in this mentorship. I ended up learning tools and tricks and getting fucking insights and whatever to make me more money than I knew how to make by myself. So I was just like, yo, damn, dude, like this is crazy. So within that, I'm like, okay, I'm using this money for that. I was also buying baby food, paying bills, paying rent, whatever. But the craziest thing, aside from like paying for a logo, paying for a mentorship, and buying friends clothes and shit like that, was buying and investing all this podcast shit. The computer, the fucking whatchamacallit, soundboard, the microphones, all that shit. They're doing yard work outside, so I didn't realize that. But so I took it and I invested all of it when it was absolutely crazy to do so. My son was only a couple months old, got a teenager, got a girl, got myself, and got a dog. And at times I was like, yo, how are we going to feed the baby? How are we going to feed the dog? How are we going to whatever? It was one of those things, obviously food and care for the kids always is number one. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was just to like, that whole like, yo, should I really take a chance on this? If I set up this podcast, I already know for a fact this is like I'm investing like a couple G's into this just to even get started, and there's no immediate payback. I can set up some like bullshit sponsors and some hokey shit to pull in like 25, 50, $100 here, which is cool. I really do need to be doing that. And at the same time, if I do that, it devalues what I'm doing. I'm not trying to take on any sponsors that I really, really don't fuck with. Like, if I'm a sponsor some shit, it's gotta be like, I'm fucking about it and I'm with it. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, everybody, where did I put that? Should go and get, oh no, where did I put it? Oh, fuck. Anyway. Should go get one of check it. Boom, right there. Element 94. At lmnt.94. Some of the sickest fucking clothes and stickers and art and shit like that you can imagine. They literally got fucking glow in the dark like patches on their hoodies, and it's just the craziest shit ever. Like, go follow them on Instagram because I actually fuck with this shit. I got a closet hanging. Y'all, whenever you see me wearing that blue sweater, that's from them with the shiny. And that's like the classy one. But they've got like the fucking crazy Space Ghost and all of that shit. Like the big ones. Like I said, glowing. And it's some of the craziest shit I've ever seen. But that's the homie, And he's actually on the podcast. I want to say episode 6, 7. But yeah, go find that one at Savvy Space Ghost. That's his shit at Element 94. So what I did was I bought all this shit, and I was just like, oh no. Like, cause it was weird because I was doing, I started just for fun recording on my iPhone, and then I got and I bought a camera too, and all this other shit. And as soon as I bought all the professional stuff, I was doing I was doing a whole practice season called Because Documenting. And as soon as I bought all this fancy shit and my video got better, I was like talking too close, too far, too loud, this, that. I was just fucking all sorts of shit up. And my engagement and stuff went way down. I went from like having like a couple hundred or whatever, views or comments. I forget exactly. I'm just kind of throwing numbers, but it went from literally like triple, quadruple digit numbers down to like 2, down, or like the number 2, like 2 views, 4 views, like shit like that. I was just like, I just spent all this money for everybody to like not fuck with me. And I realized like it came off like I was trying too hard. And I'm just like, I am trying hard, not this like, oh, I'm a wannabe type of way, but like I legit was trying really hard. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. This is brand new. I'm gonna just try, dude. Like, I don't know what the fuck it is, but I'm gonna just fucking try. So really with that whole fucking practice season and series and shit was just for me to to discover if I liked it or not, because I realized I could have sold, or I could have returned all my shit, or like sold everything, or, look to start selling it, maybe take a little loss on the equipment or whatever. But I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, we're just going to run this shit. And I committed to myself, and I promised myself that, I'm going to put in 10 years into this shit minimum. I've got a 10-year minimum dedication to this whole podcasting or talking on camera, mic, whatever you want to call it. Because personally, I don't even like the word podcast, but that's just what it's called for now. And I could easily see this evolving into something else or whatever. Like, my mind's always open for some shit like that. Like I said, it's never over. It's always a pivot. It's never just done. You never just quit. Always pivot, always adapt, always adjust. You know what I'm saying? So I did that whole fucking practice season. I banged out like 140 something episodes of it. Some were fucking sick, some fucking sucked, some were trash, some were tight, some were everything in between. And like, I just appreciate doing that. So yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna get right back in this. We gotta take a quick break. I gotta reset the camera real quick. So 1 second here. We'll be right back.
Damn, dude.
All right, once. Ham, bologna, ham, salami.
Damn, dude.
Welcome back, everybody. We bike.
I know Mira Mesa.
Oh, I did not mean to piss that, but I do. I know Mira Mesa like a motherfucker, actually. So let's just pick back up right where we left off. Was fucking with my unemployment money. So like I was saying, I put it into myself, the homies, companies, this equipment, and really it was an investment into my experience. I'm like, why have I know I didn't suffer so much through life for no reason. Like, for sure, I didn't do all the suffering for no fucking reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, so I'm putting it there, and then and then once I split with my girl, I'm giving her some of the money for the kids and whatever, and it's like we help each other out when we can and however we can, and it's like, yeah, it's hard, but at the same time, we got to realize like it's just bigger than us, and that's one thing I realized within this whole breakup is like, dude, this whole thing's so much bigger than me and her. It's about the kids, and there's just nothing more important, It's like our kids really like make the difference of like who's gonna be cool as fuck and like how this world is gonna go or not. You know what I'm saying? So especially when it comes to kids, dude, like, and I say this from experience, dude, like if you're gonna be a dad, if you sorry, let me rephrase this. Specifically talking about being a stepdad, having a stepdad and having stepkids, if you're gonna jump into that role and you're gonna step up and you're gonna do that shit, you gotta take the step out of there. The step is for stepping up. Like, that's your kid. And it's interesting because I see a lot of times people are like scared to commit to it or jump all the way in. And that's cool because there is a certain period where, you know, it's like you don't know each other. You don't know if this is what you want. Like, it's a fucking terrifying thing. And at the same time, it's a very beautiful thing because I know for me, my son and I, as soon as I met him when he was 8, and we have the dopest relationship that, like, I think we can have. Our conversations open, our communications open, our activities are open, like, our jokes are open, like, everything is, like, it's, you know what I mean? It's, like, really cool. I'm, like, really stoked and really proud, and I know that it takes a lot on my end, and I know it takes a lot on his end, and it takes a lot of trust and love, and it's kind of all circles back to, like, investing into yourself in the first place. Like, investing into yourself.
Damn, dude.
That's the most you could do. And I'm talking like mentally, like even before financially and all of that. I mean, you could do it at the same time, cool, but like when investing into self, that has to be it. Like, it has to be number one. And even when you have kids, you still have to invest in yourself first. Now, that's that I understand that can be taken many ways. So let me clarify. Investing in yourself first means you get to be a good example for them. So check this. How I see this is I want to show my sons how to be good men. Now, more specifically, my teenage son, he's 15. He'll be 16 this year, which is just absolutely crazy to think because I can fucking just remember that like it was nothing. Or like it was just yesterday, you know? And oops, sorry. So showing him how to be a good man, it's like, well, how the fuck do I do that? If I have all these like hurt feelings and things to say about his mom or this or that, then it's like, it almost makes it hard for me to talk about being a good man from that perspective, because that's not being a good man. You know, if you got hate or anger or hatred or whatever towards somebody, especially it's like your child's mom, then it's like, I understand it though. Trust me, I definitely understand that feeling of like, man, I hate my baby's mom, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't even like saying, oh, my baby's mom. Like, I feel like I don't even like that, you know? But at the same time, like, I want to show, it's more important to me to show my kids how to be a good man than it is for me to say that my ill feelings towards my ex or their mom is more important.
Damn, dude.
Yo, you really get that? You know what I'm saying? Like, let that sink in. Like, holy fuck, dude, that's pretty deep. Like, it's more important that they get to see and experience and feel how it feels to be a good man than it is for me to be angry with their mother because of our own personal relationship. Damn,
dude.
Fuck, dude, that's pretty deep. So, how am I doing that? What am I doing? Well, fuck, I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Nobody really does, but I'm trying, and my intentions are good, so that's gonna equal good. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I'm like, all right, if I can, if I can show him and give him the skills that I lacked in the relationship with his mom, then we got a good man. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that's crazy. So like, check this out. It's like, okay, so I'm trying to tell my son, well, I'm not trying to. I was telling him, we were talking about like, all right, dude, like, you're talking about dates and stuff. And I was telling him like, dude, you gotta make sure you take your mom on dates because that's the best practice you can have for when you go meet real girls and like you really want a real relationship and you want a respectful relationship. You know, it's like if you're looking for something serious, then it's important to know how to do these things, you know? So I'm like, dude, like where I failed is where I can teach him now. Because when I end the relationship, I look back and I see my parts and I see their parts and I see the whole thing. And I'm just like, all right, like, cool. I get it, you know, and I'm going to legit learn from these lessons. And anytime any of my exes have ever said anything about me, I've taken it and, you know, filtered out what's really real about it or like what's just like said in anger or out of emotion. And I'm like, all right, I know I know them well enough. I remember them well enough to know what they meant and what was just said out of like emotion, you know? So the what in what I'm doing and how to show my kids that is like, I hella fucking sucked at taking my ex on dates. Like, I hella sucked at that. I never really had any example of that. So I'm like, yo, I told my son, yo, you take your mom on a date. I'm going to give him money. I helped him organize a plan. And, you know, I'll help watch the baby, his little brother, my son, you know. And you take your mom out and you go practice, you know. You practice, like, being selfless and being compassionate and, like, practice treating somebody and practice just experiencing and enjoying somebody's company. And, you know, it's like, go do some shit. Here's some money and go spend it and have fun. Like, do all sorts of cool shit, you know? And I really was trying to emphasize to him, like, all right, like, you know, this isn't about, like, yes, this is about you, but it's also completely not about you at the same time. Where this is, like, I completely just spaced on what I was saying. I don't know. I had an exact point. I forget what I was saying exactly. But my whole point is like, yo, look, if you can go on these dates and you can and make it fun and it's kind of like a thing you understand, then you don't have to be like an awkward dude or like have all these like shitty experiences and stuff. It's kind of like you can filter through that faster when you know how to do it right from the beginning. You know, it's like learning how to like cut a steak or cut fruit or something. It's like, it's scary at first, but like once you actually like know what you're doing, it's kind of like, oh, this is fun and you can fucking go fast and you can do whatever. And it's like, oh, it's really cool, you know? So with that being said, it's like mindfulness is kind of what comes to mind. And so, what was I going to say with that? So, I don't know. So it's interesting. Like, so with showing him how to go on dates and, you know, it's like I legit listened to how my ex would say, you know, the things where I lacked, or all my exes actually. And it was always kind of that same thing. Like, I fucking suck at taking girls on dates. And like, I just don't really, I don't know. I didn't know at all. I didn't know any better, you know. I didn't know that was a thing. I was used to just kind of always like, yo, we're down as fuck. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got your back. You got my back. Like, no matter what, it's cool, you know. And it's like whether we got nothing or we got everything, it's like in my brain, how I would see it was like everything we do is a date. And I realized that's cool and that's sweet and thoughtful of me, but it's also not taking your girl on a date. You know what I'm saying? There's a distinct difference of like, all right, get dressed for this. We're specifically going to go do this and that. So it's interesting because with my son, I'm teaching him that stuff and I want him to go experience it. I want him to make the mistakes with his mom, you know, like, yo, like, oh shit, you spent too much money. Well, you better fucking learn from this, you know, like you spend too much time on one activities, did this, that, whatever the things that people consider like, fuck, like I fucked that up or this or that, like you get to just kind of practice. And at the same time, it's your mom. Like we should be doing something sweet for your mom, you know? And I say this as somebody who needs to get better at that, you know? I completely lack because I know that I don't know shit about it and it's foreign to me. So I learn and I'm open to learning. And it's so cool because with my oldest son, he continuously teaches me and I teach him and we teach each other. And the conversations and things that we talk about and go through is like insane. So I look at like, well, what have I learned from my son? I met him when he's 8 and he's now 15, going to be 16 in August this year. What have I learned from him? The biggest biggest thing that I learned from my oldest son, Nate, is compassion.
Damn, dude.
Like, he's just so compassionate and understanding and such a, like, good, kind person. Like, he's just one of those people that's just so innocent that, like, it just, you know what I mean? Like, he's just one of those people like that. He's just got such a good heart and he's just so kind. And I don't say this just because he's my kid. It's like, that was legit. I was just like, what? Like, where did you learn this shit? Like, that was literally what I was asking when I first met him when he was 8. I'm like, bro, like, how do you know this stuff? Who taught you these things? And his mom just kind of like cracking up. I'm like, did you teach him this shit? She's like, I would like to say so, but he kind of just figured a lot of the shit out on his own. He's just like that. I'm like, no, what? And it was just mind blowing to me, you know? Like, so it's legit when I say that. And it's like, you can ask whoever. It's like, he's always willing to spend his last dollar on you. He's always willing to go and earn a bunch of money and then come back and spend it all on you. He's always trying to, like, you know, he's always willing to give you the bigger piece. Always willing to let you go first. Always, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, holy shit, dude. Like, he's so kind. And I really, really respect and love that so much about him, where, like, damn, I'm like completely the opposite. Whereas, like, well, I should say I was, and I'm still practicing and learning. I'm like halfway there, but where I come with like, that fucking guy, where I have judgment, he's just like, oh, this person needs this or that. And I'm like, wow, man, like, it just melts my heart that, like, that exists and that lives in this world and that, like, I get to be a part of that. So it's crazy. So it's really interesting because on the flip side, what I get to teach him is like, oh, and then aside from that, when it comes to any fact about anything, he knows it. And if he doesn't, he'll tell you he doesn't. But like, if there's facts about anything, he knows it. Music, fucking philosophy, theory, psychology, math, history, music theory, music instruments, skateboarding, surfing, riding a bike, like whatever it is, he can tell you a lot about it. And that was one thing I would always tell him when he was younger, was just like, dude, like, if you're gonna get into shit, learn about everything and at least learn just the basics. At least master the basics, and that's enough to tell you whether you want to get into something or not. You know, if you learn to ollie a curb and do a kickflip here and there, then like, that's enough to let you know if you really like are gonna enjoy skateboarding or not. You know, if you worked hard enough to get to that, or if it's like really for you or not. So, so in reverse, like how I'm, excuse me, how I'm able to teach him is like, the biggest thing that I told him when we first met and we really started getting close, I was like, look, bro, we're on this mission. And I was like, I kind of put it to him like, look, bro, like, if we're gonna roll together, there's something I gotta teach you, man, and I'm gonna tell you. But the thing is, I'm gonna ask you before I tell you. I was like, there's some knowledge that really can help your life, and some insight that can really change your life, and it's magic. It makes people like you more, and it makes people respect you more, and it makes you like you more. I was like, but at the same time, this gift can often feel like a major curse because you'll be seeing and hearing things that a lot of other people don't see and hear. I was like, now, if I tell you, you'll never be able to forget and unhear it. So, do you want to know what it is? And he's just like, wow. Yeah, what is it? And I was just like, all right, man. Here it goes, dude. And I was like, I'm going to keep reminding you of this for the rest of your life, and it will always occur forever. And it's going to occur whether you like it or not. But if you have the awareness, you can never shake it. And I was like, what that is this thing called mindfulness.
Damn, dude.
And he's like, what? And it was crazy because this was actually before the word mindfulness got all popular and stuff. It had popped up in magazines and shit like a couple of years later and whatever. But anyway, before it was like a trendy word. No, but I mean, that's not even the point. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, with mindfulness, it's the key. It's the answer. He's like, what do you mean? And it was crazy because he had bullies when he was younger. And I was able to get him to an understanding to where he stopped getting bullied and actually became like the complete opposite of it. And is like, whoa, holy shit, like what the heck, you know? And what it is like, it was interesting because he's really intellectual naturally. And for me, I'm like really not intellectual in that way naturally. I'm more like, you know, like if we were to just go with general context, street smarts versus book smarts, like he would be the book smart guy and I'm the street smart guy naturally. Like, you know, our natural ways of being. Granted, we both have whatever. We all have levels of each. But point being, I was able to explain it to him in a way where he actually got it. And it was through this tool of mindfulness. And it was basically, it came down to things like, look, how you're literally just standing too close to people when you talk. It like, and I would tell him all the time, like, look, I don't know why, but if you stand right here this much too close to people versus if you stand back here or you stand way too far away, that's going to determine how that person views and thinks about you, kind of no matter what you have to say. So if you walk up and you're just way too close and they can smell you and they can feel your breath and they can feel your heat, your body heat and all that, you're going to come off as annoying. I was like, if you take a step back, most people will just be like, oh, this guy's cool. If you step way too far back, people are going to be like, why is this guy so scared? What's he nervous about? So I was like, look, literally, if you grow mindfulness of your body position, your body awareness, if you have mindfulness over your whole body, then you can kind of start moving in a way where people magically like take to you better right off the bat. And it was crazy because both of us were just like, whoa,
Damn, dude.
like, hold on, like, damn, this is crazy deep. So, and then it was just like, we took this in every avenue. And it was like, well, like, what subjects are you talking about? Are you talking too loud? Does your breath stink? Did you not wipe your ass? Like, what's the deal? You know, like, you're a great dude. Like, but if people are bullying you, nobody bullies people for no reason. There's always something. I mean, let me take that back. Because sometimes, yeah, people will just bully people for no reason other than they're just hurt people, you know? But anyway, there's usually the bully has something to like cast its line out to and knows what it's fishing for, you know? And it's like, well, shit, you got the roller backpack. Sorry, bro. Like the hook just happens to catch those pretty easily. You know, if you got fucking like, you're a dude and you got Daisy Duke shorts and like cowboy boots, like, sorry, man. Like you're going to get it too, you know? Like, fuck. If you come to school and you smell like pee, it's just like, bro, sorry, dude, you know, you're just going to get it. Like, so it's just trippy. Like we discovered you can literally just grow mindfulness around your body position, our ways of speaking out, and then also going and diving into like, well, what does this actually mean? What do these words actually mean? When I say whatever, does this like, you know, excuse me, like the difference between having automatic responses. Sorry. Oh, I've been yelling like all weekend. I went surfing with my kiddos and my dad the other day, and then before that taught one of my old students surf lesson, and I was just yelling the whole time, like, woo! So my throat is kind of toasted. But yeah, dude, so this whole mindfulness thing is crazy as fuck because we've been able to really like dissect so many avenues of life. And I want to keep touching on this subject because it's really fucking cool, you know? Like it's so crazy because it's like for me, he like, I don't even say it. Like he taught me to have the compassion and understanding for people in ways that, let me rephrase this.
Damn, dude.
He's taught me understanding and compassion for myself. in ways that I could have never realized.
Damn, dude.
Like, that's some real shit. Like, damn, like my son, Nate Schneebe, you've taught me so much about compassion and honesty and innocence and self-love and manifestation and really about being and staying youthful. So I thank you so much, and I love you forever and always, man. Like, I'm so appreciative for you and who you are to me in my life and who you are to everybody else in life too, man. You're an incredible person, dude. And I'm so thankful. And, you know, talking to you and having you in my life teaches me mindfulness constantly. Like I said, you're never alone on the journey, and it goes on forever. Once you're aware of mindfulness, you can't go back. Once you've accepted it into your life, once you've opened up to it, you can't go back. You cannot go back to being unmindful once you've taken it on consciously. So I encourage all of you to take it on consciously, because I'm in this shit. My kids are in this shit. A bunch of my homies are on this shit. Like, this, it's the way to go. You know, it's like you can get what you want without offending people or without people offending you. And I think that's one thing where it kind of gives me room to speak on this, is like, if you watch me literally through my day-to-day life interactions, like behind closed doors in public, whatever, I really am pretty chill, and I really do not encounter problems with people. And it's very, very rare, very rare. And I completely take ownership for when it does happen, because it's me being the dick. Like, you know, sometimes you can catch people, but at the same time, if somebody's fired up on some fucking crazy shit and your energy is also on some crazy shit, who do you think's going to attract each other? So if you happen to get in a fight and you didn't do anything, but check, how was your energy? You know what I'm saying? Was your energy like fucking beaconing for that shit? Sometimes my energy is just fucking calling for a fight. You know, I check myself and I meditate and I practice breathing, and I do this all the time, whether I'm driving or fucking whatever, you know, breathing through the nose, breathing all the way down through the gut. Like, there's different breathing techniques which really fucking work and help. So I encourage everybody to get onto that, because it only helps grow mindfulness, and there's just nothing cooler. And it's funny because my son is so sick of hearing that word, but at the same time, I'm like, bro, it's gonna be the dopest shit ever. You know? So yeah, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, to all you dads out there, just know that you got this, especially single dads, especially dads really putting in the work and the time and the effort and the everything, man. It's not easy, and I know that a lot of dads don't get credit, and I also know a lot of dads are pretty shitty, which is unfortunate, and there's still hope, and it's okay. That's why we fucking got the show, man, because it's like we're having the conversations that need to be had. And when I talk to my son, the conversation's completely open. Like, the jokes, everything completely open. Like, there's literally nothing off limits. Half the time we're talking, he's saying shit that, like, I'm like, I start feeling embarrassed, and he's just cracking up. I'm like, fuck, dude, like, you got balls, bro. So, so I just want to shout out everybody. We are in the top 10% of all podcasts in the world, and we're just coming up on 1,000. We're at 925 downloads, so that means that we are getting really, really close to hitting 1,000. And hitting 1,000 means, I don't really know what that means. It's kind of just like bragging at that point. Sorry, I'm trying to look something up here, and it's going bonkers. The fuck? Okay. Hot and tarnation. Yeah, so I realized that I'm like, why does this keep doing this? Sorry. So, and I want to shout out all the listeners. Dude, we got listeners from like everywhere now. It's pretty crazy. There's pretty much all around the world. The only people who aren't listening to us is in Australia for a reason. So Australia, what up, you guys? Like, I mean, to be fair, I can't say that I currently listen to anything that comes out of Australia, or and I've never been to Australia, but I actually really want to, cause I freaking have a. I remember I had this client who she was telling me her and her husband for their like anniversary, no, not anniversary, their honeymoon, went in a fucking got a crazy sick ass like off-road truck van thing and fucking just smashed around the outback and the beach, the desert, the fucking jungles, whatever, yeah. So I want to thank you guys for listening as we wrap this up here. We are officially, our listen score went up from 25 to 27, and we are still in the top 10% of all podcasts in the world.
Damn, dude.
So, with that being said, there is now 2,119,275 podcasts globally, and we are in the top 10%.
Damn, dude.
Damn, dude. Thank you guys. We are in this motherfucker, dude. If you're gonna start, you better have fucking started last year. No, there's still time, dude. You just got to be consistent, because we entered this category like pretty quickly, surprisingly. You just got to kind of get all your shit up and into one thing, and it kind of just keeps rolling, like snowballing itself, So yeah, so I appreciate you guys. And on that note, make sure you go follow us on Instagram at Damn Dude Podcast. That's also on Facebook as well. And appreciate you guys. Thanks for making this a top 10% podcast in the entire world. That's fucking off the charts. So, like I said, make sure you go do that. Follow us on Instagram and go leave us a 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts. Much appreciated, guys. On that note, Rooster Tail, take us out. That's at Rooster Tail, tail spelled Tale official, at Rooster Tail official. Find his music wherever you find music, and follow him on Instagram and tell him the Damn Dude Podcast sent you, and holler at him if you want some intro or outro or any kind of music made. So on that note, take us out, Rooster Tail. One love, much love, love all. Peace.